Afternoon, good evening, good night. I'm Michael Armano here, the Drip Broker, and you are tuning into the Drip Report with the Jack's Local Radio Show. I have my good friend here, Alan Calkins, a yoga instructor, an artisan, a creative, and a really swell guy, and I'm excited to have you in the hot seat. Thanks for joining us here on the Drip Report.
Hey, thanks for letting me be here.
Excellent.
So, I know you guys got some B-roll of me doing some yoga type stuff. The first thing I want to say is I am hypermobile. That's my personal practice, and that's not me trying to show off. I also teach to people in anywhere from a wheelchair to quadriplegic. I've had some training in accessible yoga from some amazing teachers, and what I teach isn't just about the physical aspects.
Yeah, I've always known you to have a very wide variety of advice to offer in this field of things. Because when I met you, you were telling me some of the things, but then the longer I know you, you're telling me more and more, and how all these different aspects play together in your overall health and well-being. So tell me a little bit more about that. So obviously it's not about just body movement, but there's a little bit more to it.
So a little bit of backstory. I came to own a jail cell April Fool's Day 2014, and I'd been in and out of recovery for about 7 years, and adding yoga to that is what made it stick. So I've been sober for some time, and that happened to be trauma-informed yoga that I found while I was incarcerated.
Okay.
A little success story, I think it was about 4 years later, I was teaching for the same nonprofit in the same facility that I found yoga in as the instructor.
Brilliant.
It was pretty dope. And it's been almost 10 years, and most of my study has been in the trauma aspects, the neurological aspects, why it worked for me in response to addiction and various other mental health issues that are found in the DSM-5, depression, anxiety, long list. But when I take my nervous system off of autopilot by doing things with my breathing and with my body and with my posture, I take a little bit more control over the hormone production of what I'm actually creating of the chemicals within my body.
Yeah, I think that's super valid, because I think about that in the same lane as far as clothing goes. You know, what you wear, how it makes you feel, like the inner, because it's an external input, right? You're putting clothes on your body, so if you're uncomfortable, you operate differently. You produce different hormones, chemicals. Like if it fits and you're confident, you feel good, you perform in a different way.
Absolutely.
So you can influence that not only by your external factors, but also your internal routines. Through yoga, through consistency, and through these different routines, you can explore better health overall. And then you can build a full package. It's not just about the one thing, it's about a bigger picture of things.
You're absolutely correct. To change a thought, we change a behavior. To change a behavior, we change a thought. So if we want more confidence, we can simply address whether we're sitting like this or whether we're sitting like this.
Right.
If my shirt doesn't fit well enough to allow me to sit with a confident posture, like if my buttons are stretching, if I'm not in something that moves for me or with me, I'm going to be shrunk up.
Yeah.
It makes absolute sense to dress how you want to present yourself on a postural level as well as a fashion level.
Yeah, and I think it's important. That's one of the conversations I like to have with my clients, because a lot of times it is about those external factors of my clothes, but how does it make you feel? How do you operate in your clothes? Those are conversations that you have to have as well. So in the conversations that you have, what inspires you to be able to take all these different things that you've learned throughout your journey and bring it into an overall conversation, try to help people dial in on that, overall aspect?
So the word yoga translates to yoke, such as the noun as the collar piece that links the oxen to the bullock cart.
Right.
It ascended to a verb, so verbally to yoke or bind things together, to unite. Also, if you look into the meaning, it means war chariot, a lot of other things. It's not just moving weird on a mat. But this applies across the board. So body, mind, soul, right? The union. We can take that with Christianity, Western psychology, and boxing. We can take that with traditional Vedic movements and ritualistic prayer. Whatever it is you want to do to address body, mind, soul, and bind that together and function at your highest level, that's what I want to do. And it doesn't have to be anything traditional. It doesn't have to be anything normal. That's why I teach one-on-one on a bespoke level. Yeah,
I think that's really interesting, because you're basically describing yoga as that binding method to take all of these different inspirations to be able to make a personalized experience for the individual, So sitting in a yoga class teaches you a lot, but it's not a direct influence on that individual. You're kind of taking a guided course, whereas we can personalize a little more by taking in some of these different factors, and then with a leader or a guide like you can drive them or guide them through that journey.
Absolutely. So you're looking at how you're dressed in the mirror every day before you leave the house. You will always look good every time. When you're looking in the mirror and you're in that posture and you feel good about yourself, just the awareness and knowledge of where your nervous system's at, what your breathing is doing, and accentuating a couple small things on purpose will change how you approach life.
I like that. And I think a lot of the times when we are getting that last look in the mirror, as soon as we walk away, we tend to go back into some of those poor habits, Mm-hmm. So what you're taking into consideration is that once you have that vision of yourself, your best self in the mirror, you want to carry that throughout the day. And you can utilize some of the techniques that you're teaching people to be able to carry that same confidence throughout the day and then perform better and feel good and develop a positive health.
In the nerdy sense, when you download that on a physical level with breathing and posture, you're bypassing the thought system, so you're not having to take an affirmation through a negative thought pattern. I processed a lot of adolescent shame, so I know what posture and shame and self-confidence feel like in a body, and these somatic things make a difference, and they can in as little as 5 minutes in front of the mirror.
Yeah,
that's yoga.
That's fantastic. Well, if you want to learn more about that, you can find Alan where? What's the best way to contact you? Now, obviously, he hangs out at Bespoke House quite a bit, so you can usually find him floating around here. Are you online anywhere? How do we look for you? You
can find me on Facebook as Alan Calkins on my personal page. You can find me on Instagram or YouTube as the Feral Yogi, but I'm almost completely inactive there. You can always drop by Bespoke House. I teach one-on-one, and I teach on a donation basis. So nobody's turned away for an ability to pay, and if you want to take a deeper dive into what I'm looking at and teaching, then hit me up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of those things that we value here at Bespoke House. We love the spontaneous collaboration. We love the conversation, and being able to sit down and explore some of these thoughts and exercises and practices with you has certainly improved my overall health. So I'm glad you're here with us at Bespoke House. And we want to thank all of you for tuning in to the Drip Report here on the Jack's Local Radio Show. I'm Michael Arbano, your drip broker, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Don't forget to breathe.